Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all my lovely listeners. We have got a handsome personality, Myke Wilder, who is not only physically fit, but he is more mentally fit. And not only that, he makes others also fit through the language learning programs. Here is a small detail about him which I would like to read it out first and then I will invite the personality. So, till that, please listen to me and look at him. Here is the detail, please. Once again, let us welcome Myke Wilder, a trailblazing communications consultant and a business ESL coach. ESL stands for English Language Learner. With TESL, TEFL, before I proceed, let me give full form. TESL is Teaching English as a Second Language, whereas TEFL is Teaching English as a Foreign Language. And business English certifications. Wow, so many. Well, he's the founder of linguistic Myke Wilder. Myke brings 28 years of bilingual corporate grit from Montreal's fast-paced scene, where he navigated French and English as the formal languages of business. Since pivoting to ESL coaching in 2013, he clocked over 8,000 hours. I repeat, yes, you heard correct. 8,000 hours empowering global L2 English speakers to thrive in high stake roles. So, once again, let's welcome Michael Wilder. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here, Dinesh.
Thank you so much. And without wasting my time, let me jump to the question. And here is the first question that I would like to ask, and that is, sir, without giving the background, please explain us what is the problem that you are trying to solve. Stage is yours, sir. Please.
The problem is that while second language speakers can learn grammar and they can learn to speak
Mhm.
quite well, it's very difficult for them to understand, to comprehend what ethnic English speakers are saying, because ethnic speakers speak like this. This is a regular conversation, and they expect everyone to be able to understand that. So what I bring to my coaching for English speakers is how to enunciate, how to speak more clearly when they are communicating with English second language speakers.
Lovely. So many things. Pronunciation, clarification, and one more thing, sir, you said how to pronounce, how to make it clear, and one item more you said. What was that?
To speak clearly and to be well understood.
Beautiful. Well, wow. You have got expertise in maximizing the potential of L2 employees and stakeholders. Because of that, what are the common mistakes the managers, yeah, especially the managers, they think that I have already passed on the message and it is clear to those people who are listening, but it is not. What are the common mistakes managers make when leading L2 English speaking teams, and how can they avoid this to boost their own performance? Sir, please, what would you say?
Well, I think that the performance of L2 speakers in a
Mm-hmm.
business is directly related to their feeling of belonging. Do we
Mm-hmm.
belong here? Are we accepted here? Are we part of the team? And the very first thing that a manager should do is make sure that they get everyone's name right, and that
Oh.
everyone in the department has everyone's name right, because our names are who we are, and we relate to our names. And when people call us correctly by our names, then we
Mm-hmm.
feel that we are part of the team, that everyone is our friend. The other thing that they do is they don't verify comprehension. They
Oh.
talk and they talk and they talk, and they never stop to think that maybe someone hasn't understood. So they don't verify. And there's one thing that I introduce into companies when I am doing this, and
Mm-hmm.
that is this
Mm-hmm.
symbol, which
Hmm.
is a letter C. So if you're a second language speaker and you're in a meeting, you don't want to wave your hand and say, "Oh, I don't understand. What was that? What did you say?" But you can just quietly, you can signal to the person who's speaking and let them know that there's a communication problem, and they can maybe finish their sentence or
Mm-hmm.
finish their topic and then come back to you and say, "Okay, you had a problem understanding something. How can I clear that up for you?"
Yes, very correct.
We all know
Hmm.
that it's frightening. It takes
Hmm.
courage to wave your hand and say, "I don't understand." So many people don't, and then they don't understand, and there are problems later.
Yes, and perhaps it's not only in the factory or in the business or outside. I think it is same with our house also, because those people who are having the English as a second language, when they do conversation, definitely they. I have seen that it's a big problem to them. They think that whatever I have told is already understood, but in reality, it is not.
No, it's not.
Hmm.
Very
Hmm.
often, it is not understood.
Hmm. Right. Well, Mike, this is something which has got relation with cultivating a leadership mindset for the multilingual environment. And for that, please let us know what key mindset changes must executives adopt to lead effectively in multilingual business contexts. What would you say?
The most important thing is do not confuse eloquence with intelligence.
Hmm.
Companies, everyone knows that you do not present yourself as well in your second language as you do in your first. You don't sound as smart in your second language. And I always joke and I say that I lose 15 or 20 IQ points when I present in French.
Hmm.
And then leaders don't recognize that, and they think, well, why is this person here, or why should I depend on them? They don't express themselves well. Well, they don't because it's their second language. So you need some compassion. And the second thing that I would like to say, if I may,
Hmm.
is do not insist that English only be spoken in the workplace. If someone
Hmm.
is working on a project by themselves and you see that they're writing or they're drawing in their ethnic language, their first
Hmm.
language, don't say, hey, this is an English office, because neurolinguistic, the science of neurolinguistics teaches us that our brains are formed by our first language, and we are more creative in our first language, and we solve problems better in our first language. So why do you want to handicap your employee by saying you can't think or you can't try things out in your own language and then come back and explain it to me?
Yes, one should respect the language of the person who is listening. That is also important, very important.
Yes, but sometimes in a company, you'll have
Hmm.
two employees who are working together who
Hmm.
are not English speakers, well, English second language speakers, but they have the same first language. And they will talk to each other in their first language because they work faster and better in
Yes,
their first language. And then they can explain to it. They can explain that in English to everyone else.
yes. Because it is said that language is such that first you get picture in the mind, then you come out with the expression. So unless and until you can't make the picture, how can you understand it? Very correct.
Exactly.
Yes. Mike, here is one question which has got relation with the practical tools for the frontline managers who are leading the L2 teams. And for that, what are one or two simple communication tools or the frameworks that the managers can use daily to ensure clarity with L2 team members? Can you please explain two tools, please?
One thing that every manager should do for their department, for their
Hmm?
company, for their store is create a glossary, a dictionary of words and terms that relate directly to the job. What the different job functions are called, what the computer files are called, what the products are called if it's a store or a restaurant, and make sure that that's given to new second language employees so that they have a reference immediately. Every job
Hmm?
has its own little vocabulary. And many people, certainly here in Canada, we have many immigrants, and they are not doing the jobs in Canada that they trained for before they came to Canada. We have doctors driving taxis. We
Oh,
have daycare workers who are working in restaurants. So they don't have the English vocabulary. They may have the English vocabulary for their old job in their country, but not for the one that they're doing now. So, because many people are waiting for their accreditations. If you're a nurse, you have to pass tests and exams. So while you're waiting to do that, they might work as a waitress or have another job. Um, so having this glossary allows them to communicate much better, much faster, because they can learn the vocabulary very quickly.
right.
The other thing I
Hmm?
think is that second language workers should have a partner, a buddy who is a worker like them, but is English speaking. And that person is the resource person for the second language person. If
Oh,
there's something that's confusing, if there's something that they have a problem with, before they run to the manager and look bad in front of them, they have somebody in the department just a worker like them who is their friend, and they go and ask them, and part of their job is helping. So they have support
Hmm.
without running to the manager.
Yeah, very correct. This is one of the perhaps best way that all the industry should apply, implement, and think of, that there must be a mediator person who might be your colleague or your friend, but at the same
I'll
time he
tell
should
you,
be.
I'll tell you another thing.
Please.
Second language speakers
Hmm.
understand each other much better than they understand the ethnic English speakers. If you have someone from Japan and someone from Germany, and they're
Hmm.
both speaking English second language, they
Hmm.
will understand each other better than if an English person comes in and just starts talking.
Wow,
That is
great.
a proven scientific fact.
No, I fully agree with you. I was working in Muscat. At the time, there were people, one was from Bangladesh and one was from India. And believe me, they were supposed to speak Arabic language, but both of them, this man was speaking in his language, this man was speaking in his language, but still they were able to understand. You are
Hmm.
correct, very correct. I have experience, I have seen it. Yes, absolutely right. Well, please let me know that leveraging personal challenges for the leadership growth is highly essential and it is important. And for that, how has your hearing disability informed your approach to coaching leaders in communication with L2 English speakers? What would you say, sir?
When I lost my hearing, I found it very difficult to communicate.
Right?
Certainly in French, but then I had the same problem in English. And I got very specialized training in how to work with my hearing disability. And what I realized is that working with a hearing disability and working in your second language are very much the same. If
Right?
you can't hear the words, then you can't understand the sentence. And
Correct.
the problem is that English speakers speak, it's not that we speak so quickly, it's that we join all of the words together in one big long sentence so that it sounds something like this. It doesn't sound something like this, it sounds something like this. And English speakers understand that, but it is very, very difficult for second language speakers to understand. So this is why I ask my clients to look at the person who reads the news on the television,
Mhm.
because a person who reads the news on the television talks
Hmm.
like I am. They talk like
Hmm.
this. They say all the words so everyone can hear them. They learn that in broadcast school, in school to be a news anchor. So they listen to that, and I work with them to help them model that behavior. But I know that because I lost my hearing, because I'm mostly deaf, but I have hearing aids, so I hear you very well.
Oh, very correct. I recalled my day when I landed in Australia. At the airport, there was a 6.5 feet tall policeman. As he saw me, he said, "Have you come to die?" I was shocked. Why he is telling me, "Have you come to die?" I went further. The second police officer, he also said, "Have you come to die?" Why he is saying like that? Then I met the another lady who said, "Have
No,
you come today?"
he was saying, have you come today? But I will tell you very quickly. Um, I was working with a woman who worked for a company in the north of Quebec. So she spoke French, and that was her language, but she spoke second language English. But the company, which was a multinational, got a new chief executive officer, a new president, and he was from Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, when he makes a video
Mm-hmm.
for broadcast to all of
Mm-hmm.
the employees, I understand him very well. But when we're just on a Zoom call, or when he comes to Canada from England, where the head office is, and he's just talking to us, I can't understand him at all. So that tells me that he has had media training for his job,
Oh.
that he's had special training. What do you do if you have to go on television and represent the company? He just doesn't know that he has to use that voice when he's talking to people who are second language. And that voice, that global English speaking voice, is what
Mm-hmm.
I give to my clients.
Very correct. Yes, you're perfectly right. Well, sir, before I proceed further, let me put a brake on my vehicle. Let me take my vehicle on the little bit on other side, and let me go to a rapid fire question session, and then if time permits we will come back, and here are the few of the most interesting rapid fire questions which I am going to ask you. Please try to reply in as short as possible. And here is the first question, and that goes like this: that, sir, what is the funniest language mix up you have witnessed in a boardroom?
In a boardroom, I would say it was me. I was in a boardroom working in French, and we were working on I was a consultant doing a very big project. And I wanted to explain to them that if we didn't do a certain facet of the project could fail. The project would not work. But instead of using the word échec, which is the French word, I used faillite, which sounds like fail, but faillite in French is bankrupt. And
Oh,
I unknowingly said, if we don't do this right, the whole company will go bankrupt. And they were like, what?
great.
So somebody corrected me, and I thought that I had lost the job doing the project, but the vice president of finance, who was in charge of the project, he looked at me and he said in French, I've done worse.
Oh.
In English.
And sir, how has your hearing disability supercharged your communication superpower? Please let me know. I am also proceeding to that stage.
It makes me very, very aware of the importance of comprehension. It makes
Oh,
me focused on my listener. It's not about me. It is, what are they hearing? Can they hear me correctly? Am I using the right words? Am I speaking in English that they will know?
great. Wow. Sir, can you give one quick tip, one gesture that instantly builds trust in multicultural meeting? What it would be?
Well, I would have to say that I've already said it, but the best thing you can do at the
Hmm?
start of a meeting is get everyone's name right.
Superb, superb, superb. Please
So
repeat it.
have everybody, you go around in a circle and someone says their name, and then everybody repeats the name until they get it right.
Lovely. Yes.
That's how you
Yeah.
start a meeting.
That's how you start the meeting. You must have the names. Wow. Right, sir. And sir, what's the wildest accent you have helped someone conquer for a big pitch? Do you remember? Can you recall, please?
Uh, I think that the wildest was actually someone from Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
But there are different areas of Quebec which have different accents.
Mm-hmm.
And this person came from the Lac Saint Jean region
Oh.
of Quebec, and I had a terrible time understanding him myself. So, for French people, every language has some sounds that are new, that they aren't
Right.
in the first language, but they're in English. And for the French speakers in Quebec, it's the TH sound and the H sound. So we have a lot of work to do with him. Right now, I'm coaching a woman from Peru who
Hmm.
is going to give a TEDx talk.
Oh,
Oh, I did my TEDx talk last year about what I'm talking about. That's how I introduced this. And my TEDx talk has about 150,000 views now.
oh God.
But she is Spanish speaking, and there are sounds that she has trouble with. So
Hmm.
we are working to get her not to lose her Spanish accent. I don't like it when people try to lose their accent. What I want is I want them to be able to say all the words clearly in their own accent.
Right. As you said, sir, in your TEDx talk, you nailed vulnerability. What's one client story? Just now you told, sir. Can you give one more client story that still gives you chills?
Hmm. Well, it wasn't the client. It was the client was a young woman who was working for a very large company, and I
Hmm.
was working for the same company. And she came to me and she said in French, "I cannot understand this letter."
Hmm.
And the letter was from France. It was from a company in France, but instead of writing to Quebec in French, because they're both French places, they had written it in English. And it was the worst translation you could ever see.
Oh
The
God.
only way that you could understand it is if you were an English person who spoke French. Do you know the expression in English, "I have other fish to fry"? Are you familiar with that expression? It means that I have more important things to do. Someone
Oh,
will say, "Can you help me with this little thing?" Well, I have other fish to fry. And in French, they have that expression,
hmm,
but it's "J'ai des autres chats à fouetter." I have other cats to whip. Neither of them make sense. Idioms never make sense. You should never use idioms when you're talking to a
correct.
second language person. But they had written in their letter in English,
Oh
"You
God.
may think you have other cats to whip, but this is important." It made no sense. It didn't give me chills, but I laughed for 2 days.
Interesting. Well, sir, Mike, your wisdom today wasn't just insightful, it was a game changer, blending raw corporate tales with the heartful empathy that left us all rethinking our own communication edges. Thank you very much for sharing the unfiltered magic of your TEDx journey and those, as you said, that 8,000 plus hours of transformative coaching. It has inspired us to listen deeper and speak bolder. We are
It has
endlessly
been my
grateful.
it's been my very great pleasure to speak with you this evening. What's this
Thank
evening
you.
for me?
Really, thank you so much on behalf of this platform. Sir, I sincerely pray Almighty God to give you all strength, wisdom, time, money, power, and everything so that the mission that you are leading, please continue. Do it more better. Do it for the more people and keep on doing. May God bless you with all health and spirit. So nice of you, sir. Thank you very, very much. And please spare some more time as and when we call you next time. Please be our guest. Thank you so much, sir. We are honored.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Let me end this session and then we will talk